So welcome back to another fragrance video. I know it's been a little while since I posted, so I thought I'd bring you guys a good video on a big 3 edition of fragrances. So in this edition, what I want to talk about is this new addition to my collection. This is the Yves Saint Laurent Y EDP. This is the Intense that just dropped earlier this year. So what I want to do is compare this one versus the Y Le Parfum and then the original Y EDP. So we talk about Yves Saint Laurent Y line of fragrances. They also do have the Y EDT and then the EDT Intense in the lighter blue bottles, right? And the Yves Saint Laurent Y line has been one of the more famous and more popular brands from the Yves Saint Laurent line, and it's a very fresh and sort of citrusy fragrance that has been one of their top mass pleasers. So they started off with this original here. The Yves Saint Laurent Y EDP fragrance has been probably the most noted, I would say the most popular one of the line, and that was kind of their workhorse fragrance that they've been able to kind of sell and market, and it had done really well for them over the years. It was a very apple, ginger, bergamot with a little bit of juniper berry, so a very fruity, citrusy fragrance, right? Especially, and it lasted forever. It still lasts forever. There hasn't been any reformulation. So they had that one. Then in 2021, they dropped this Y Le Parfum DNA here, and I remember even saying it when I got it. I was like, wow, like, you know, I thought it was hard to really beat the YDP, but they did it with the Le Parfum. I felt like it was a little bit sweeter, a little bit more aromatic of a fragrance. They added some aldehydes, they added a little bit of patchouli in there that gave them sort of that aromatic touch to that fragrance. And then this year, they dropped this new Y EDP Intense, and I thought it was going to be another, you know, kind of redundant sort of fragrance. You know, I was like, do I really need to put the money behind this? But you know, a few of the reviewers that I kind of follow and watch, and you know, kind of take some insight from them, they had gotten it, and honestly, they had been talking about how this might be the new king of the Y line. It kind of balanced both the EDP and the Le Parfum, you know, in terms of most people thought that EDP was a little too citrusy, a little too fruity, too you know, tart, if you will, and then people thought that the Y Le Parfum was a little bit on the sweet side. So they were like, well, if you want a good marriage of the two, you get this Y EDP Intense. So first of all three of the fragrances follow the same kind of DNA for the most part. They both have that ginger, that juniper berry, that bergamot, and that geranium, but you know, each flanker, and this is the beauty of fragrances, kind of catching the nuances, goes a little bit of a different direction. You know, with this Y EDP Intense, they add that patchouli, cedar, and vetiver that kind of gives it that herbal smoothness, a little bit of woodiness. And so when I got this fragrance and I wore it out, the main thing I noticed was it was much smoother. It was like they took the EDP and they grew it up and made it a little bit more mature, a little bit more calm, not as in your face. So for those people who didn't like the sort of sharpness that the EDP could have, especially when you first spray it, I think this EDP Intense would be a really good one for you. If you're a person who still likes sort of that aromatic touch that the Y Le Parfum had, I would say you could get this one. And then if you just like the original, that citrus, that in your face, that shower gel feel, you go with the original EDP. So that's a bit of a breakdown on how you kind of decipher which one should you go with. All three of them are very good fragrances. I would get all three. I have all three. You can even get the EDT. That's another good one. You really can't go wrong with anyone from the line. It's just a matter of preference at that point. All right, I'll catch